now we're going to talk about the biggest heel, the worst, the game show guys hate more than anything, and that is Steve Harvey, host of Family Feud. They hate his guts. And this is a question from Quora. When did the questions on Family Feud become so X-rated? I watched this is the answer from Anonymous. It goes, I watched the old Richard Dawson episodes all the time, and the questions were always family friendly. So the person who said there were dirty...
Richard Dawson was kissing every woman on the fucking mouth. So take one or the other. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think we all can agree the Borland days. The Borland days were the best, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't Al Borland?
Richard Carr was famously not very good. They didn't like him.
I loved Borland. Borland would fucking... He was... it was wonderful for me. I mean, because I knew him from the other TV show and everything.
They love the guy from Seinfeld. You know who I'm talking about? John
I do. He played Elaine's boss.
Or something. Yeah,
Not Putty.
I don't know if I ever watched that version. Louis Anderson, I thought, was pretty good at it when he hosted.
I love Louis Anderson though. He's great and fun.
They've gone through quite a few of them, eh? But Steve Harvey's he's been there for a while now, right? He's
12 years, yeah.
15 years, probably 10, 15 years, yeah.
So this anonymous person goes, the new show is filth. I don't watch it. Not a fan.
But also, Steve Harvey doesn't write the fucking questions. They figured out that the money was in Steve Harvey reacting to the questions being X-rated.
Exactly.
And then they kept writing them. It wasn't like Steve Harvey went into Family Feud and was like, this show's too family friendly. You guys gotta have, gotta have a
some sex stuff.
What's the best vegetable to plug a leak?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, as someone who listen, I watched Family Feud before when I was younger, and I will say that it is a little bit too dirty. I'm not a big fan of a show that sort of delves too much into that sexuality and the sex type of stuff. Yeah. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit. I don't know.
Look at that. Let me read you this answer, Chris. This might tell you a little something. I don't know, because I didn't start watching it until this past year. I had to change the station tonight because it became so gross. I was eating an apple and the answers were so sickening I almost lost what I swallowed. The sexually explicit and
you almost threw up your apple.
And losing what you swallowed was actually the number one answer in one of the categories.
But they end it with saying the sexually explicit and quote turd oriented answers make me wonder how it could be called a family show. It's so tasteless.
Well, it's called it's called Family Feud because there are families on it answering the questions. Just to be clear, it's not a reference
the rating of the show.
Yeah, it's not a reference to it being for families.
It's turd oriented. These turd oriented questions are crazy.
I mean, I do agree that I don't like this version of Family Feud. I don't think it's the gimmick is fine. Every now and again, you have a category where some of the answers could be a little bit racy or whatever. But it seems like every time I turn it on, that's all the show is now, and that isn't that interesting. I do kind of agree, but not in the way that I threw up what I was eating.
I don't think that the show is ever really interesting.
No,
you know what I mean? I just think it's I think it's just kind of a boring show.
I don't like it.
And they had to, this is again, what they're clearly doing, is they're trying to capitalize on the viral type stuff, right? They're trying to create viral moments
with penis and turd answers.
Yeah, and because like John said, the Steve Harvey reactions to those are a lot of them went viral, and they realized it was good for the show.
I would never listen to or watch a show where they talk about a bunch of sex and turd oriented stuff. That's not for me. Might be for you listening.
Not turd oriented stuff, definitely.
No. Which is
what was it about? Sorry, Brian, what was about that last flight you took?
Guys, which is better? I just want to ask your opinion on which is better. Press Your Luck, the OG, Whammy, the all new Press Your Luck, my pick, or Press Your Luck, the new one, the crap one.
I don't know what any of that is.
Well, this answer from this person, Jeopardy alumni too, says the newest version of Press Your Luck isn't crap. I'd love to know why you'd call it that. To be honest, the new Press Your Luck is my most favorite.
No, the original version of Press Your Luck is the best because the guy like manipulated it and won like $100,000.
Oh yeah, and we love whammies.
Like one of the most famous game show stories of all time. It like was absolute genius. I mean, the guy is, from everything you read, a complete piece of shit, but very cool story.
The whammies are the best. I just love the whammies so much. It was just such a big deal to me. When they got a whammy, I'd be so excited. It's like one of those shows where when they do bad, you get excited because you get to see a whammy do something.
I've never heard of this show or any of the stuff you guys.
So basically, what it is, Chris, is it's a show. It's called Press Your Luck, and you sit there with a button, and there's like a light up board, and so the light changes to all these different squares, and then you press a button and you're trying to win prizes. You have to answer trivia questions once the prizes match up or whatever, and then if you land on this thing called a whammy, you lose all your money and you lose your turn.
Well,
and
in my opinion, I think they should get rid of the whammies.
That'd probably be a good idea.
If they got rid of the whammies and just had you lose your turn, I think it would be a little bit less hard on the players. That's just the thing. That's the first time hearing about it, but this seems like a simple fix.
The thing I'm referring to, Chris, is on the original Press Your Luck, this guy was a fan of the show and taped a bunch of episodes and then realized, watching them back to back, that there was like 3 squares that the whammy never appeared in. So what's happening is like the lights are changing and the squares are also changing. So there's like kind of a
like, I could never like this show, I don't think.
Oh, I loved it. You've never seen a whammy.
Yeah, the whammy is pretty cool because the whammy's also like an anthropomorphized creature. And then they do like a little like animation with the whammy. It kind of looks like a porcupine or like a hedgehog or something.
And this has been canceled. This is gone.
No, this is still going on.
They brought it back.
Banks is hosting it.
But you should definitely.
Who's hosting it?
Elizabeth Banks.
Oh yeah.
What?
You know who Elizabeth Banks? You would know if you saw.
I do know who it is. I just wasn't expecting it to be Elizabeth Banks.
It is. She's the host of the show.